It's Nomsa here at Ngozi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, led from within. With me today is Angie Simmons. Angie, our topic today is firing up again. So how do you relate with this topic?
Firing up
I know
again.
you're single. I know you're a single girl, but
Yep.
I know you've been into a relationship, and every girl knows what they want. And every girl knows what romantic means. Some people are simple, some people don't do romantic. So, how do you relate with this topic?
Wow. Okay. So personally, me,
Yeah.
regards to relationships, um, well, to be fair, it took me quite a while to be single, to actually realize what I want out of a relationship, because I think in the past for me, I've gone into a relationship and it's all about what I can get, but but I've ended up changing to suit somebody else. Now, I'm not saying a relationship is built on going out and getting what you want. Far from it. It's a two-way thing. You know, you give and receive in everything, as well as relationships. But I don't know. I had to do all that work on me, so I know what I want out of life. Because I think sometimes when you want something out of life, you meet somebody, and then next thing you know, your dreams, your hopes, and whatever, you've just gone out the window, and then you start pleasing the other partner, which then you end up resenting them for in the end. Which is, to be honest, it's something that's just popped up recently, in with a conversation with one of my ex-partners. One of my dreams is to buy some land and, have my own camp. And that has been a dream of mine over 25 years. And it just come up in conversation the other day. Well, if you'd have let me buy that land, well, if you'd have let me buy that extra house, and we both started laughing because his dream was to buy another property and build a property portfolio. I wanted to buy land and have my own wellbeing camp. And it's nuts how we didn't, we talked about it last time that we weren't communicating properly. But yeah, I sort of let go of my dream, because I didn't want to cause friction, and vice versa. And we both lost out in the end. So I think it's when you understand yourself and what you really want out of life, then the right person will come. I think, because you'll get to see the people that like, for instance, sometimes I've found that you'll be in a relationship for a while, and then all of a sudden you start to see the cracks turn up, and you're thinking, no, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with. No, I'm not sure about that. Whereas I've noticed them a lot quicker. This is not the right person for me. I know I deserve love and support just as much as the person that I'm going to be with deserves love and support. And if I'm not if I'm not in the right headspace and I don't know myself well enough, then I can't give that to somebody else. Not properly, anyway. That's my thought on it. I've rambled for about 3 minutes.
Yes, I actually agree with you, NJ. Romance in a relationship, when we talk about firing up, like you were saying, the topic came up with your ex-spouse, regarding your dreams, what you wanted and what he wanted, and you both started laughing. Uh, when it comes to romance in a relationship, when that link, that bond, that makes the heart beat the strongest, if it's not there, love can be destroyed, it can disappear. It also, firing up your love again is a journey that you have to explore together with your spouse, facing different things, checking out different things. And some people believe that being romantic, it means all about sex, all about having sex and things like that. But there are different things that exist, and we all live, when it comes to romance, every individual is in a different planet. So you're gonna have to, like, you were in a different planet, You wanted the land. There were dreams there. You imagine yourself having this big land. That was your world. And being with your Prince Charming, which is your ex, and being together in that land and doing all sorts of things, even building something or even going outside, having fire. I'm sure there were so many, there are so many things because that dream to you is still existed to come to reality. And but he had different dreams as well. So that's why it's very, very important when people meet, make sure that you are on the same page.
Yeah. We were on the same page for a long, long time. You know, we both loved medieval things. You know, we end up the wedding was medieval. We were both up for people dressing up in medieval wear and all that sort of stuff. Traveling, we both love traveling. So that's when I got the bug, if I'm honest. Just going to different places, and I just thought, wow, how would it feel to have some land and away from concrete jungle, as I call it, you know, the busyness of concrete jungle. And yeah, he was on that page, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, we wanted to build an empire. And I was like, okay. And to be fair, now I look at it totally reversed. Yeah, I want to build my empire, but it's going to have some land on it.
Yeah.
I need land.
I think in life, Angie, what we do is, like when we're not into this personal development, we don't know, people that are not into personal development, they don't know how to link things together. Like your spouse actually, your dreams, if you look at it, your dreams were similar dreams. It's just he might have looked at your one and say, you are crazy. And I'm gonna go to this empire. But you guys could have had both. Can you imagine you have got this big land and bought the empire, built the empire in that land, and then have your own space there where you can, because you love animals, where you can go and feed your animals because you work with animals as a coach. And then you can go and there, have your horses, have your dogs, whatever you choose to have, your sheep, whatever. I don't know. What's your favorite animals?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I love cat and dogs. I've had cat and dogs all my life.
Okay, so you love cats as well.
Yeah, I love cats. It's like, with my, my dog grooming business that I do alongside my coaching. I have, you can't see him, but you can see like a bit of a white blob there. That's my best mate, Pudding, who's he's a Jack Russell cross with a corgi. Yeah. And then there's two cats on either sofa. So my cats are so used to dogs, they're not bothered. It's just the other dogs that come in and think, cat. And I have a bit of issue. So I'm like, get out of the way, cats.
Yeah, so you both could have had this romantic life, but at the time...
The romantic's not very romantic at the moment, not at all. But my idea, going back to the romance side of it, it was, the thought of being under the stars, having a fire, some dinner or something, and actually connection, rather than getting stuck. This is why I said away from concrete jungle, because most people have either got one of these in their hands, a phone, or they're watching the box, and they're too busy focusing on other people's lives rather than the life that they've got and how amazing their life is. Because, to me, the phones and all that, everybody starts comparing themselves to other people. And personally, we're individuals, we're unique. So just having that connection away from all the distractions, that to me is romance.
Yeah, I love to own a big land one day where I can have all my animals. I like all different animals, and I'm not a cat person, but I love dogs. So when I was in Africa, my daddy's house, I had my own dog Spot, and then Ringo at daddy's house. These dogs, they were my life, because I speak to them and sad. I speak to them. I remember one day, and no one was in the house, and I was so hungry, and I was like, I don't know, they forgot about me, and sport, and I was like, I'm hungry. And then I remember him bringing, like, pushing the food, is like, there is food this side, and I was like, where? And I was like bringing the food in the garden, bringing the food, and I was like, okay. And I remember sitting there with forks, and I used to feed him on normal food, and I remember like sitting there, and he's looking at me, I like, would you like to eat? And then come and get on the side with me. I was like, it was the best moment. And then I was like, we are best friends, are we? He was like, yeah. So I just love dogs. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you
They're
don't have
unconditional, aren't they?
knowledge, yeah, they love
Look
you
what they do.
unconditional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to romantic, you both have to be on the same page, and I agree with you. If you go to town now in the evening, you will see every by the window. People are in a restaurant, but they're actually eating out, but they're holding mobile phones. So I'm like, what's the point? So when I go out, my mobile phone, it goes inside my bag. I keep it for emergency. If someone calls me for business, I will not answer it because I'm out. They can wait, so I know they can wait. So I don't really use my mobile phone when I'm out, but it is very, very interesting that you have to be on the same page. It's very, very powerful, and and also the language. You have to be able to understand the language of the other person. Like my love language myself is no. If you go and buy me like Gucci handbags and stuff, I don't speak that language. I love clothes. I love handbags. I love all these things that I can have. I love them. But if you wanna really, really make me happy, is the simple things where you spend time with me, just sit down and watching the movie and having that quality time and not being disturbed. I love that.
Yeah.
But when you buy me something and you think, oh, she's gonna love this, I'll love it, but it doesn't mean that that is romantic. So you have to be able to understand the love language. What's your love language?
Mine, same.
Yeah.
Fear, like I say, just and it in a love language like relationship, but also I do it with my friends and people that I really care about.
Yeah.
My family, the people that I've chosen as my family. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. Don't, when you're eating, put your phone away.
Quality, give me some time.
Some time.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, my daughter's not very good, because she don't like going near grass because she eats slugs and frogs and stuff, so she gets a bit freaked out. But before, she used to go and bottom at garden with me, and we'd sit outside and have a fire.
Yeah, my oldest one does not put her phone down.
Pardon?
My older one does not put her phone down unless you say, please put the phone down. It's family time.
No. And my daughter, she did not have a phone till she was about 14. I wouldn't let her have one because I was like, no, because I could see, and I see it today more so now, that the millennials, they will struggle with connection because they've not been taught connection.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they're born, they've got a phone in their hand. Well, it looks like that sometimes. And yeah, they forgot the art of communication. And like say, if we're not communicating, then we're not bonding in the right way.
No.
But yeah, to me, that's my love language. We sit down and have a meal together, spend quality time together, like having a fire, maybe watching a film with a glass of wine, going.
Yeah, and just play together. We love in this house. We love playing, like children. Like we just
Playing games.
Yeah, playing games and tickle each other. I don't like when they're tickling me because they never stop. I'm tickling everywhere, even under my feet. So that's the part that I don't like. So it is nice. Those simple things that we take for granted. So I love those simple things. But some people, their love language is taking them out to a luxury restaurant, luxury wine, drinking all those things, which is really, really good if that's what somebody desires. But the other person has to be able to communicate. You have to communicate your love language. What makes you happy? But some people don't communicate, and they're like, "He has forgotten our anniversary. Can you believe it?" Remind the poor girl or the poor guy.
Yeah, don't get in your own head going, oh, they've done this. Well, actually, have you turned around and said something? No. And unfortunately, that's a real bad thing that I think a lot of us do.
Yeah.
When, I've done it with my daughter before, and she thought I've meant something else or done something to spite her.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when she's stopped having a paddy, because she's a teenager and they're still, and then she'll go, oh, I never thought of it that way. No, I'm not actually doing it to spite you. I've actually got something on. I can't actually do that. But we get in our own heads that, oh, they're doing it deliberately. They're doing this to, oh, they don't love me anymore. That's why they've not remembered.
Oh, no.
All sorts, so many people do.
We have to, like myself, if my birthday is coming up, I always make sure I remind people.
Yeah, then you've got firepower.
Yeah, I'm like, don't forget my birthday. Even my spouse, I go, he buys me something, but I go on the computer and check the things that I want, that I really, really want. And I'll say, this is what I want. Or I tell my daughter, if you're feeling generous and you want to buy me something, buy me this. And I know that thing I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna use it for useful things. As long as it's not expensive, I always make sure that I don't demand expensive things to my daughter. But I'm like, if you want, feeling generous, you can get me that. But I will never let somebody assume let somebody think that they're gonna remember my birthday. There's so many things that goes on. People go to work. Sometimes I can't even remember what date it is. We remember the dates because we work with dates.
I totally get that. Yeah, that one day just rolls into another. You're like, well, what day is it?
Yeah, I remember the date because I work with dates, diaries and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what helps me. So I think it's very, very important to make sure that you are on the same page and working as a team as well, and to just help each other out. And because if you don't help each other out, you're just going to assume, and the relationship requires effort to keep it alive. Even your relationship with your daughter is the same with the relationship with your spouse. You have to, as a mother, and your daughter has to make an effort to say good morning, mommy, give you hugs and kisses. They don't give hugs and kisses now, but we have to understand that we are all unique, and we have our own unique ways of being romantic, and it's a personal anchor that somebody cannot force it to you. Like, you have this dream where you want to buy your own land one day and stay outside with your family, create fire and stuff, and have all those of fun and stuff. And that is beautiful, and that is your want. So people need to understand that when you are in a relationship, just communicate your want, communicate your desires, and all will be well if you communicate what you want and tell the other person. And some people also, they make excuse with children, like, I can't do anything because of the children. But you can. Why do we have friends? They say, I can't do anything with my spouse because I have children, but they actually can go out with their friends. So we have friends because the friends can help to look out for the children. Or even now, the child care, you can find somebody to look after a child for nothing. There's lots of different people, maybe £10 an hour or £20 an hour. I'm sure it'd be worth it just to go out and be romantic for 1 hour per month. So I think we don't make that effort because we don't value. Do you think we value life much?
That's one thing that me and my ex-partner did when we had summer. And I said that One, I wanted her to know her grandparents because I spent a hell of a long time with my grandparents, and they were like second
Yeah.
parents to me. And then
Yeah.
my other grandparents, they lived way too far away, but we went to see them at least once a year. So I still knew them. And that's one of the things I said, that I wanted my daughter to know grandparents, but also we needed date night.
Yeah.
We needed date night because, being a mum and a dad, especially when you're new mum and dad, geez, I would say it's one of the hardest jobs going. So yeah, that's one thing we did. Sometimes it would just be sit at home and watch a video. That's cool. Have a meal or get a takeaway. That's cool. Go out for a meal. Just something to make sure that, and that's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Your you time for you to work on yourself, but also relationships as well. It's non-negotiable. One of the things when I became self-employed and a single mum, and I was trying to juggle so many balls, I was totally taking my daughter everywhere with me. That poor girl, don't get me wrong, it has helped her because she was associating with really positive, uplifting adults.
Yeah.
She wasn't subjected to loads of social media and chucked behind the TV so I can get my work done. She was around people. But yeah, she was everywhere. Now I just think, oh, bless her. we did at then point. Then that's when I was like, actually, no, I need non-negotiable time between me and her. And then that became, but now she's a teenager. That's, if I grab 5 minutes, I'm woohoo!
Yeah, it's very, very important because we actually don't value our lives, and it's like when you hear people like they tell you that my husband or my spouse is always working away, so I'm like, but you could actually, and you find the other person doesn't work and they look after the kids at home, so you're like, but you could actually ask the grandparents to come and look after the kids if your spouse works away. You can actually travel with that person, and then in the day, if they're going for business, they are away for business, you let them go to work, and then you go around and look at the places in the area while they are busy. You can have that time, and then once they finish work, and then go out for a meal in a hotel and just spend time together, and that destroys a relationship as well. And you find somebody who has their own business and the woman stays at home, they're like, oh, we drifted apart because of this, because of this. For me, when I'm going away, my family are always with me. I always make sure that if I'm going away for the weekend, I'll book a hotel where if I'm speaking, then they can spend time with me, or they can spend time doing their own thing in the evening, and then we are together doing things, maybe spending money. And I think it requires you to have a creative mind, because what people do is, can you imagine the time that people spend looking for love?
I can imagine a lot of people spend a lot of time looking for love.
they get creative, like their looks, it's got to be perfect. They will create like their hair, how their hair should look like, nails, everything, and the perfume, and the man, it does the same, and then they will search for each other, maybe for 1 year or maybe for 2 years. Once they meet each other, the effort will be there. Oh, I want to spend the rest of. They tell each other all sorts, and then and then some people want to have children, and they're like, my biological clock is ticking, or they're like, I don't want to be alone. Once they get that thing, now they spend 2 years looking for it. The fish got the fish now, and now they're like, relax, I don't need to make an effort anymore. I don't need to do anything. And his angel comes in, is like, honey, when you were dating, I'm sure there were times where your dreams really seem to be linking together. And now it's got angels like, I don't need to make an effort. I don't need to listen to her dreams anymore. But not knowing that that can lead to divorce or separation. So you still have to listen to somebody's dreams. You still have to, uh, if somebody like when somebody like in this house, my daughter will be come to me and talk. She plays games. She will explain to me what is going on. I haven't got a clue what is going on, but I have to pay attention. And her dad plays games. He'll come in and explain. I haven't got a clue what's going on, but I still have to pay attention and just listen to what is being said and then ask questions. I'm like, I don't have a clue what you guys are talking about. Can you explain a little bit? And then they'll be explaining. It just shows a little bit of interest that
Yeah.
I'm not into this. I took my ex once to watch WWE in Manchester because I loved wrestling at that time. I love sports. So he came. And I think he wished he would not have come. He's very quiet. And when he walked in wrestling, everyone was screaming. Everyone is like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And he just like he was like, "What the heck is going on?" Everyone is got mad, and I was like, "That's the life. You just have to let it loose." But some people like for them to get into that stage, they need alcohol. For me, I don't need alcohol. I just need
Nope,
to
me
be,
neither. Right people, and I'm on it.
yeah, yeah. I just need to be at the right place, or just keep my happiness and just get on with it. So I think you just need to understand each other's connection and connect properly in order to keep this thing that is. The fire alive. So, do you have any ideas like you can give to our audience, Angie?
Regards to
Actually, before we go to the ideas, anyone who is watching and they know you love dogs, and if they want to connect with you and book your coaching, can you explain to them how you work? And if they want to do any booking, what do they need to do?
right, okay. So need to clarify. Yes, I love my dogs. I'm a dog groomer. I've had dogs all
Yeah.
my life, but I don't do coaching around dogs. The
I know you
it,
do coaching for people.
I do coaching for people. Yes. So
Yeah.
I'll just getting that clarified because it's I thought you were saying that I coach people with animals, and I was like, no, it's my head. So yeah, I by turning my mental message into my mess, turning my mental mess into my message. I can't even get my words out. Look, hold on, put my teeth in. I inspire and empower and support women over 35 that seem to be, like stuck in a job that they really hate and they want to do something else or want to become self-employed, but they don't know how. I help them gain the confidence to make that happen. I also work with small business owners as well to help them improve their mental and emotional well-being. My teeth are seriously not working today. So I'm very, very proud at the moment that I'm just starting my Majala course, which starts next Tuesday. I did quite a few courses last year before I got really bad COVID, I had long COVID, so I had it for about 6 months. So it's not a course that's just started. I've been doing it for quite a while, but it is my 7-week mentoring program that helps people awaken their conscious mind so they can make better choices and improve their emotional, mental well-being. So I've got that going off. That's starting next week. I've also got an accountability group that's now starting up, which is for individuals that want to become self-employed or individuals that are employed, especially self-employed people, solopreneurs. Because I don't know about you, Nomsa, sometimes you've got your children, you've got your family, but sometimes when you're in business, it can become extremely lonely.
I know.
And you feel like you're talking to yourself sometimes. You can't see the wood for the trees. So I've started working with individuals that are solopreneurs, helping them get some more focus so they can achieve what they want and having that connection with somebody else. And it's a really nice little group that's starting. So yeah, that's me at the moment. So I've got a lot going off, but if anybody does want to connect with me, You can find me on Facebook as Growth Development Foundation. I'm also on Instagram, and I'm also on LinkedIn under Angie Simmons. My website is www.growthdevelopmentfoundation.co.uk. So that's in true to me. Thank you, Nomsa.
Yes,
I wasn't
please,
expecting
guys.
that.
If you are listening to Angie, please get in touch with her. Starting your own things, sometimes it can be a very, very challenging journey, and even fear as well when you want to start something new. I remember when I wanted to start my business, I had so many questions in my head, whether am I good enough, whether people are they gonna listen to me. So you want that person that can answer those questions and give you that reassurance when you're going through and the challenges, and just to let you know that you are going to be okay. So Angie is the right person for you. Get in touch with her, please. And if you're a woman over 35, right?
Yeah. Although,
Yeah, please.
saying that, I've worked with 2 gentlemen as well and got some great results, but it's mainly the women that I've been working with.
Yeah, please get in touch with Angie. And for me, if you are looking for love and you have these chains that are holding you, I always look at women's profiles on when on the dating sites, how they write their profiles. It's like they put what's the trending one is like, I don't want time wasters. I'm like, why do you have to put that on your profile? I'm like, you don't need to put that. Your profile has to be as exciting as possible. And when your profile is authentic, when a waster comes in, they're not going to want to contact you because they know that you know what you want. So if there's something negative, they're just going to contact you to wind you up. So if you're looking for that love, get in touch with me. My website is just there. And relationship is what I do, breaking the chains of I'm not enough. No one is going to love me because you've been rejected by somebody who was messed up and you think you're not enough. So I break those chains. Or maybe a follower, you go on a date, you know what you want, and then a man tells you exciting things. You start following and dating for the sake of, hey, he's very kind. You see women, they're like, oh, he's very kind, but I don't think I'm in love. I'm like, seriously? What's the point? So pick something that you're gonna love. So if you wanna pick something based on what you desire, not what anyone desires, just come to me. We do the truth. We testify the truth. We do it in a goddess way where we become honest with ourselves first. We check our lifestyle first, and then we can go and pick somebody that we want, and that person will find us very, very attractive just by being us, being authentic. So thank you so much, Angie. And I'm sure there's someone who is watching, someone who is struggling, and someone, when you I know we're talking about romantic today, firing up again, and also it's a fear. People relationship, they drift apart because of fear, not communicating with each other. And in business, it's all like that. You just have to find that person that is going to push you and is going to tell you that everything is going to be okay, even if it's not. So you just have to keep going. So yeah, so thank you so much. Yeah, so I was gonna ask, do you have any romantic ideas that have worked for you in the past?
Yeah, I love taking a picnic in the woods.
Oh, that is romantic. That is beautiful. Yeah,
but make
you
sure
can't.
that the other person's not scared of spiders and God knows what, because that just nails it. So be careful by doing that. And I say that with jest because I did it myself for somebody else,
Yeah.
and then a great big spider crawled over my leg, and it was me that threw everything everywhere.
I don't like spiders.
No, I don't like spiders, but I do like the great outdoors. So it's one of those, just be mindful of them. But it's because I wasn't expecting this spider, I suppose. But yeah, make sure.
Yeah, I love outdoors. Yeah. Awesome, Angie. Yeah, I love outdoors. Um, anything else?
Oh, tips to be romantic. Oh, making somebody a meal from scratch as a
Yeah, I
surprise.
love it.
Old
Yeah.
fashioned, sitting at a table with candles. Having some music on in the background. Candlelit dinner. Yeah. Romantic. It's not really in my thing. I like fun, if that
You
makes
like
sense.
fun?
Yeah. Or, I like a bunch of flowers as well.
Yeah.
And I've actually bought flowers for a gent before. So it doesn't have to be the man that has to buy the flowers for the woman. You never know, because I like flowers being bought, but also I
Yeah.
like giving flowers. So yeah, but wrong person to ask about romantic stuff, because it's like you said earlier. I'm not bothered about stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody goes out and buys me like £100 necklace. That doesn't float my boat at all. If you buy me sort of a £20 necklace that's just as good and take me out for the day, even better. I'm more
Yeah.
about experiences, if that makes sense. Memories.
Yeah. I love going to the, like in the day you're going to the pub, I would sit outside and just enjoy the steak or maybe fish and chips. I love that lunch. Just simple things like the restaurant has to be really good, the food has to be really tasty, or steakhouse. I love that. I think it's very, very romantic. And I love to I don't drink, so I love to go out for lunch, or maybe like visiting places where they just sell ice cream. I like to taste the different ice cream, and I love those things. I like simple things. I don't
Yeah,
want to somebody to overdo things. I like flowers. Um, and I like somebody, like when you was like what you were saying, that cook a meal. I like it when a man cooks for me. I find it very, very romantic when a man cooks for me. I really like it. And what else do I like? I like ice cream. We always go for ice cream. And what else do we do? I like going to the, like Subway.
yeah,
It's where I like silly things. Going to Subway, watch the car staying inside, and just eating meal. I love that. I love simple things. But when you overdo it and take me to, I don't like it when a man, like, let's say you take me out and you pick up, I don't drink, but when a man picks, say, a non-alcoholic wine, like maybe for £200 or £100, it puts me off.
yeah.
I like to be normal. It really puts me off. I went to my friend, he's a musician. I went to visit him once in London, and he loves cooking. And he cooked his meal and everything. So he's doing everything professional, making sure that everything is been set up, everything. So I'm thinking, does this person actually know that we are actually friends? So he's treating me like, like when he's on the red carpet,
Right.
he's treating me like that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna teach him a lesson. So then he put the food down. So I was like, okay. And then he brought the glasses and stuff. I was like, this person, he needs to be taught a lesson. So guess what I did? He poured the drink in his glass, and I took the drink up and I just drank from the bottle, just deliberately. And it was like, oh, we're doing that. I was like, yeah, we're doing it. We are not on a red carpet. We are not trying to impress one here. I was like, you can do that when you are impressing your girlfriend. I am your friend. And I was like, and I was teaching him, you to, because like it sounds like these celebrities when they're out, that's why their relationship don't work, because when they are out in the public, they expect the public expect to see them in a different way, and when they go out meeting friends, and they expect to behave like they are in the celebrity in the public. And I was like, I'm your friend, just chill. So it's like, so the reason I bring this up is that there are some people that they don't know when to stop when they go to work. They are controllers. And when they come home, they want to control everything, as everything has to be so nice and perfect. Just chill. We call it a chill pill. Me and my friend, I have my friend, as we say chill out. Just relax, be normal. So, like, there's a difference between being a CEO and being at home with your family. So when you are at home with your
Absolutely.
family, you have to relax. You have to be yourself. Enjoy. Find something that brings joy. Being romantic, it means you do the things that bring joy to your loved one, and you do things that bring joy to you as well. Not for the sake of doing it, just for the sake of spending money, just because you have the money. There are some people that will go and do things just because they have the money, but there's no joy. There's this. They have all this mobile phone and they
Yeah.
go and do whatever their spouse desires, but they're still on the mobile phone. So mobile phone maybe leave it at home.
Yeah. Sack it
Just
for the night.
enjoy. Yeah, just leave it behind for the day. Whoever calls you, if there is a family member who needs you, maybe they want to go to the hospital, they'll ring somebody else. There will always gonna be somebody else. So just be the person that you are meant to be and just live your life. And also calling your spouse as well. I think it's romantic. Like now, you're busy working with the dogs and stuff. If you had someone, a spouse, calling you and surprising you, I think it's nice. And the dog's barking, and you're like,
It's a no-no. It drives me insane. Like with my daughter, I've said to her and my housemate, when I'm in
yeah,
that garage, leave me alone. Because if
yeah,
I've got, because sometimes I work with rescuing, scared dogs and stuff, and
yeah,
somebody walking through was, whoa, and if they jump at the wrong time, I don't want to be chopping any ears off or anything. So
yeah.
he's just leave me alone. Yeah, because he does. Instead of being, sometimes, I've spoken to my daughter or my housemate, and they get it, and they're like, "Do you want a coffee?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, please." And
Yeah.
that's fine. But yeah, wanting to come in and have a chit chat, it's not the right time. I'm at work. Leave me alone. When I'm out of
Yeah.
work's closed, I'm with you. You've got my full attention.
Yeah.
And it's putting back. You have to put boundaries up in every relationship.
Yeah.
In that
Yeah.
sense. But
So
yeah,
yeah.
very much so.
I don't mind when somebody calls me in the day, because I just work, or unless if I'm with the client, so I don't mind. So I think sometimes I think there was this couple, and this guy decided to surprise his wife and stuff. And this woman, instead of saying thank you, he goes, "What have you done with my husband?" And he goes, "I'm still here. I'm just trying to make you happy, honey."
Yeah, and then they'll be like, "Why is he doing that? What's he up to?"
Yeah, what
Instead of
is he
saying,
up to?
"Oh, well
What is he
done,"
done? Is he guilty? Maybe he's guilty with something.
instead of seeing it for what
So
it is, something lovely.
yeah, and I think it is really, really nice when you do these little things that we take for granted, and mostly if you can do things. Some people say I can't do this because I haven't got money. Some things that don't need to have money. You can do it,
We
or
would
with
just
money. You can back on a Tesco's and you just sit in front of the TV. How much do you have to pay for Amazon Prime? It is £1 a month, or Netflix, and have these films on Netflix. I don't have Sky anymore because we have Disney, we have Sky, we have Netflix. I was like, why do we need to subscribe to all these satellite channels? We don't need it. So I got rid of Sky. So now they have Amazon, Netflix, and Disney. So it's good for them. So if you can afford to go out, then you can sit in front of the TV and have some popcorn and watch a film. Big screen, you'll be surprised at how a big screen and the big speakers what can do, and bring the mood to you. What advice can you give someone, Angie, that is really I know you're not in a relationship, but every woman has dreams and their desires. You've been in a relationship before, a long-term relationship, but you're single because it's a choice. So, what advice can you give it to someone right now who is in a relationship and they are feeling lost in that relationship? I call it bleeding in love, bleeding. They're bleeding eternal in love, but they can't. Their desires cannot be fulfilled by their spouse. What advice can you give them?
Right. Okay. First and foremost, when you mention that stuff about doing things, and things are free out there. Funny
Yeah,
enough, I was having a conversation with a coach beforehand on the same subject.
yeah,
Going for a walk doesn't cost anything.
yeah.
Just getting outside, getting out the four walls.
And holding hands. Don't walk at the
Yeah.
front. The other person
No,
walking at the front.
exactly. You talked about the TV and having the popcorn and all that sort of stuff. Me, get out.
Yeah,
Get outdoors, even if it's going for a walk, 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes, holding hands, being present with the person that you're in a relationship with. And you never know, you could end up talking, and that, any conflicts that you've got going off in your relationship, that's the time to start talking, when you're away from everything else, and connect. Connection is huge in my eyes. So that would be, if I'm trying to go back to the question that you wanted me to answer. If people are struggling in a relationship, find a way to connect. That would be my answer. Find a way to connect. Even if it's leaving them a note, read it. I've done that before. I've left a letter, that I wanted to talk, but didn't want conflict or blah, blah, blah. And I wrote, I've done this with my daughter. I did this with my ex-partner, and it worked because they actually sat and read it, rather than, because I know sometimes when we're trying to discuss something with somebody, and that there's quite a lot of friction there, because for some reason we can't get that connection. We've got that barrier up that's preventing the connection. I found when because some people are sitting on the back foot waiting to say, yeah, but, and they're not actually using these. They're too busy wanting to use this. So a letter takes that away, because they actually get to read the letter, and they're not going to be sitting there going, but, or if they are, then, wow, I wouldn't know what to say to that. But me, yeah, writing a letter. Just write a letter, connect, get out.
Yeah, I think that is a good idea, to write to someone a letter, and also paying a compliment. You love your spouse compliment. It just compliment them when it's necessary, because some people they don't. If your spouse, they are making an effort in doing things, just tell them how awesome they look, and give them a
Thank them for
hug.
doing something. Thank them for doing
Yeah,
something. How many times have you made somebody a meal or done something, and there's no thank you? And you just think, well, what's the point in doing that again?
yeah.
So that thank you goes a long way. I've said this to my daughter before. Instead of just taking your plate and dumping it on the side, how about saying, thank you, Mum, that was very nice. Or, Mum, can I make a dinner tonight? Can you share? Can you help me? But complimenting is huge.
Yeah, and also the when guys are together with that person, it doesn't matter how long you've been together, you are still in a romantic relationship. Know that the person you are dating, they are your best friend and they are your lover. And also, eh, in order for you to be romantic fully, you have to forgive, because there's gonna be some things where, little things where you're gonna crush, where your spouse, you're gonna go to, they're gonna take you to a restaurant where you like, and maybe someone likes Chinese or someone likes Indian or simple, they've hurt you a little bit. You have to learn to forgive. Forgiving someone, it comes with joy, it comes with a peace, it brings peace in that relationship, and they show that we are unique, we are individual, we all make mistakes. So if you forgive, I'm not talking about, there are some big things that when a spouse makes a mistake, or cheating is a choice whether you forgive them or you don't. So I'm not talking about all those things. Those things comes with the therapy. So you have to go through therapy. You have to go through so many things. Or even when someone is they've addicted to something, or addicted, or some, maybe drugs or alcohol, it comes with a big responsibility. So I'm not talking about all those things. I'm talking about there's a simple thing. But if you are someone who are facing the really big issues, I would suggest you get a coach, or you cannot afford a coach. If you go to your GP, they'll refer you to a coach. And now there are some website, even online actually, there are some website free coaches that offer free coaches. And so you can get a coach, and so you can actually a therapist, so you can work on yourself, whether you want to stay in that relationship or you don't. So when I'm saying to forgive in a relationship, I'm talking about normal things, and then in the bigger things, they will need the therapy. You will need to make a choice, whether do you want to stay in that relationship or do you want to go. And that's how you work on your romantic things. And never give your spouse a sloppy kiss. Just because you have to kiss each other every single day doesn't mean that kiss has to be sloppy. So make sure that you give them a deeply, and looking at somebody in their eyes when you communicate with them. Like Angie was saying, boundaries as well. Romantic comes with boundaries. So you have to have boundaries in your relationship as well. Anything else, Angie, you want to add before we leave?
I can't think of anything, my darling. I think you've covered everything, but that you would do, because that's what you do.
Yeah, any words of encouragements?
Just work on yourself. You know, I'm a massive advocate for personal development. Don't blame the other person. You know, you touched on that, about the other person's done this, they've done that, they've done the other. And, you know, we sometimes get in our heads of, well, why me? What's this? Why is this happening to me? Instead of, why is it happening to me? You know, instead of thinking it's happening for you. So
Yeah.
when you start doing that inner work and start working on what you want to achieve, who you are, finding that inner light in yourself, so then you can attract the right person. If you're not in a relationship that's the right person, you know, with the right person, start doing that work on you, because that will enable you to build relationships with yourself first and foremost, but then with other people's around you.
Yeah, it's very important to work on yourself. Thank you, Angie, for that. Because everything starts with you. I look back where I was before and where I am today when it comes to personal development, and I don't regret my past. I left it behind, and I've learned so many lessons from it. But what Angie is saying is all starts with you. Whatever you do in life, having that romantic, making a decision to say, I'm gonna go out, or maybe you have this restaurant that makes good food. I love good food, and you wanna go out with your spouse. It starts with you. How are you gonna communicate to ask your spouse to go out without any blame? And if they are busy, they are busy. try something else a different day. Don't say just because it has to happen now, it has to. And then now you didn't say yes, you've had me. You'll be surprised what human beings do.
Oh, yes. I've been guilty in the past, so I can't say, but I've learned every experience.
I look at my friends and when their behavior, I'm like, this is who I used to be. And I'm like, this is what I'm like. You got to work on your girl.
Yep.
So she's what Angie said. Please work on yourself, and
Absolutely.
your relationship will flow. You have joy in that relationship. You have peace. I'm not saying the fight will disappear. I
You
was
might find that
watching
that's not the
Shonda.
right person, and you need to
Yeah,
change direction.
yeah. I
But
was
work on
listening
yourself
to
is
Shonda.
fine.
She says that she broke up with her husband 17 times a day. Before she got into personal development 17 times.
Mm.
It shows, but now when she speaks about it, it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
So I used to do that as well. If there was something, if I couldn't communicate my want, I'm like, this is not working. I want out.
Yeah.
So communicate your want and have boundaries. Know what you want. Communicate your love language and know that you're not perfect and your spouse is not perfect. Never compare your relationship with anybody else. Know that your relationship is beautiful the way it is. It's unique. If it needs some improvement, it's got to be unique improvement from your heart, not because your friends they've told you how romantic their spouse are, or and then you come home and you start comparing your spouse. We do not go there. It's a forbidden area. So we are here
Absolutely.
at Ngozi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. If you want to get in touch with Angie and conquer those fears of I'm not enough, you want to start a business but there's this fear, please get in touch with her. And if you are in a business and you are feeling lonely, she is starting an accountability group as well, so get in touch with her. So many things that are exciting going on, and so you can live that life that you want. And if you are looking for love and you feel like you're doing the same partnership and you want to break those chains, the list goes on. Get in touch with me and we can work together and you can fix yourself. I'm just there to trigger for you to recognize why things are happening the way they are. And a YouTube family, please subscribe to our channel. God bless. Live with grace.